longer to really grapple around what's happening versus a product business. So it all depends on the type of business and what the products or the services are. And for sure, the business environment, economic environment does come into play, right? Because the seasons change so often, different rules, different taxes all come into play and does do affect the business. But I think if you set out initially having the right systems and procedures in place, it makes a whole lot of difference because you're getting in, you're prepared, you're being proactive, you're planning, you're budgeting for what's to come, right? And that does help a whole lot.
Yeah,
And
budgeting, I think, hit that on the nail, the nail on the head there, because I think so many people don't, especially like if you're putting your family's financial, health at risk and things like that, because on the account of a business, I think it's super important to sit down and write it out, or do a spreadsheet.
exactly. And I do want to elaborate a bit on the key performance indicators because there's so many out there and they do help to really assess the business. It's kind of like, it's definitely looking beyond the number. So for example, you might be selling several products or offering several services, but which one is really profitable? Which one is really worth expanding more into marketing more? So when we look at, for example, a revenue per product or per service, that helps to indicate which product is really selling, which one is really in demand. And then you go another layer, you say, okay, this one is in demand more. Is it really more profitable? So you do another assessment there. And also you can look and you can say, okay, reviewing your pricing strategy. So these are lots of other areas that you look on when you think about your key performance indicators. They're also the break-even analysis. That's another one where we sit and we assess exactly what do you need to manage the basic in business, what do you need to cover all your expenses, what's that minimum amount you need to be selling. So that helps you to plan your marketing. It helps you to drive more, in terms of what you're going to put your effort in. So there's so many indicators out there that are so relevant for business. Even you're looking on another one, I'll toss in another one, the labor costs. Like if you have team members or other employees on board, are you paying them too much? Are they wasting time? These are things that are relevant and that can help in the overall health of the business. So it's really important to sit down and assess this. It's not just about, I made this amount of sales. It's much more than that.
I love that you said that because, like I said, people say, "Oh, well, I'm grossing." I know people. I'm grossing $1 million a year. Okay, but what are your expenses and what are you laying out? What are you really taking home? They love to talk about that gross figure, and I think it's so nice to talk to someone like you because I think a lot of people come to me and ask advice on starting a business, but I think so many people don't because they are terrified of all of this. To tell you the truth, I'm terrified of all of it. I hate it. I hate numbers. I hate figuring out taxes. I mean, that's why I have someone do it for me and walk me through, because if I had to rely on that myself, I would never want to engage in a project or I don't know anything about this and I don't like it. So I'd rather have somebody on my side. And I think it's so nice to talk to you about it because people realize they're not alone and they can work with someone like you, and they will help them figure all this out. So it's not, there's enough that's scary in business. This thing should not be one of them. This should be something that they're getting their hand held. The financial management is up to them, but the procedures, is what they need for, someone like you for. And what about taking on team members? You kind of said the assessment, are they wasting your time? Are they working? That's got to be a huge component. That's got to be something that people might come to you, whether for advice on, huh?
Yes, because especially where we have a minimum wage being monitored and being reviewed, like here in Canada and too, there have been increases over the last few years. And what do you do, right? How do you assess that? So for one of my clients, what we've been doing is that we can't change the fact that we have to be paying the team members more. What we have to do is dive into more in terms of productivity, ensure the right systems are in place, because the more systems you have and procedures that are spot on, that are making sense, the less likely it is that you have persons on board who are wasting time, who are not being efficient. And that's one of the key things that we look at, because there are some tasks that can be automated. It could be as simple as the flow 1, 2, 3, 4, what do you do first, what do you do second, that can impact your overall efficiency and productivity. So that's another key thing, assessing your methods to ensure that you are being efficient and effective, because it's not that, okay, I'm going to get this system in place. Is it going to really help your business? Is it going to really get, money in the bank? Because it all boils down to that. Because if you're not seeing the results in your bank account, then something is definitely wrong.
I agree. And then I guess, all of us, we go to the doctor once a year for a physical if we're lucky. I mean, how often should somebody be checking their financial health? Like, how often should they run these checks on pricing strategy and things like that? I mean, what's a good measure?
Okay, for my clients, we definitely review monthly. They are, depending on the nature of your transactions or your business model and the business environment, probably every 2 months. It all depends, but I definitely couldn't wait until a year has passed to assess what's happened, because when you do it monthly, you're able to plan to see, okay, what can we do different, and you're able to get on to making key changes quickly, because time is so important. Because if you're going to wait until a few months into the year to make this change, then it's just not going to be as effective, right? So the more regular, the more frequently, monthly, you can sit, you can plan what's next, what are we going to target, what are we going to try and improve. It makes a whole lot of difference. It's just like, you on a personal side, you're reviewing your goals, your aspirations. You don't wait until, well, I'm hoping we don't wait until every few years to do it. But the more regularly we're on top of it, then for sure, just like in a business, we have to be on top of it. So monthly, and if you're even, sometimes you're having some financial crises, or, and even I've worked in companies, I've done it, and every week we're assessing what's happening, right? Every day it can be that critical, right? So it's something that we have to be on top of.
I love it. I love all of this. Now, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you? What's the best way?
So my website is www.theboutiqueaccounting.com.
Yeah, I like that. That means you're giving personal attention. I like that word, boutique. That makes a big difference for me. A lot of, as opposed to a big firm where you're just a number. I have a feeling you're the type of person that really gets involved with their clients and takes a personal approach. So I
really believe in developing that lasting relationship, and listening. Listening is so key, because you have to tap into what's needed, what are the goals, and then you work from there, because it's so important that you're listening and knowing exactly what your client needs and all that too, 100%. For sure.
Well, you have been so informative in a very short period of time. I really appreciate it. So we'll post your website here in the comments so that people can find you. And thank you so much. I'd love to have you back to talk more about tips and moving it up to some more questions, because I think this is such useful information for so many people here.
Yes, for sure. And we do look, and we even assess people virtually, because it's such a global village now. So we offer virtual services as well.
That is perfect. See, I know the world is getting very small, isn't it? All right. You have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for the tips.
You too. And thank you too. And thanks for all the awesome work you're doing to empower women worldwide.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Lots of love. Take care.